Growing up, our family kitchen was a chaotic scene of classic rock and, you guessed it, cooking. The kitchen was my dad's kingdom, not to be disturbed. When he became a Pepe, he softened a bit to incorporate his grandchildren with his love for cooking. With the help of his grandchildren, my dad makes a to-die-for banana bread. Well, at least he usually does. There was one time the ingredients, they got mixed up. Instead of sugar, they used salt. They promptly named it beach banana bread, and everybody was forced to take a bite. What this tells us is that the ingredients are important, and it's important that we get the recipe right. Recipes are instructions, formulae, procedures that help us achieve an intended result. In a classroom, a lesson serves much like a recipe for teaching. While I am a sucker for banana bread, my domain is in reading. As a former elementary special educator, my priority is reading intervention in particular. I'm in search of the perfect recipe for reading instruction, which is no easy task, you see, because reading is a complex product of multiple skills and concepts, which means that any intervention aimed with improving reading has to have multiple components as well. While making my niece and nephews smile is a feat my dad certainly deserves credit for, my work stands to benefit the 67% of US students who fail to read proficiently. Despite a common commitment to an award-winning recipe for reading across several US states, the vast majority of students, regardless of disability status, continue to fail to read. Here in the state of Tennessee, we've passed lots of legislation related to improved literacy outcomes. We've prioritized identifying and providing evidence-based instruction for students with or at risk for dyslexia. We've also improved preparation for pre-service and in-service teachers to equip them with more knowledge to provide that evidence-based reading instruction. But in Tennessee, our expectations are high. Promotion to 4th grade is contingent on proficiency on a 3rd grade statewide reading exam. To put this much pressure on little ones, we better have that recipe for reading just right. So what is it? What is the active ingredient or perhaps the missing ingredient? What does the evidence tell us? Well, when you think about research, it's not very different from how you learned it back in grade school. Students are randomly assigned to one of two conditions: a treatment condition that has that multi-component intervention I was talking about, or a control condition in which students receive typical school programming. We often base our knowledge on whether the whole intervention worked or it didn't. And as you can see, our current approach has not yielded improved results. Notably, findings of an all or nothing type approach, like did the intervention work or did it not, is problematic, and that we don't know whether nuances of that intervention worked. This problem is referred to as the black box principle of research. What I mean to say is that there might be certain ingredients or components of ingredients needed to result in an effective reading recipe. So maybe it's time we mix things up. Maybe we need to re-examine the ingredients for reading. Maybe we need a whole new recipe altogether. Maybe we need to look outside of education to see how other fields conduct their research to improve the impacts of ours in the education field. And that's what I intend to do. As an early career researcher and someone who believes reading is a fundamental right, I intend to implement intervention optimization, a systematic framework used widely in public health. This approach is innovative in the context of educational research, and it might be just the switch we need to helping us identify effective ingredients, such as components that result in reduced time and cost related to our reading remediation efforts. With time and necessary funding, I hope to get this recipe right. Thank you.